It's really weird watching somebody else drive your boat away.
So here she comes out of the water, and we are anxious to see what the bottom is going to look at. You can see the mustache on there, which is just from the grime from the water or whatever.
Why did they call that a mustache?
I don't know, because it kind of looks like a mustache. And at first glance, we thought, well, the bottom looks pretty good. Well, they had a little bit of trouble getting her out of there because she's so heavy, and so they had to get another truck to pull the truck to get the boat out of there. And as we pulled her up, we got a little bit closer inspection of the bottom. Didn't look too bad on first glance, but then when we got some time to get around and look at the props and the Freedom Lift, we found a lot of barnacles on there, and that was because we really couldn't get the bottom cleaned as much as we wanted to during the COVID. So we're going to have a little bit of work there. And we got out of their hair as much as we could because they're busy. And then we are heading to Clayton, to the Harbor Hotel, where we're going to stay there and meet up with some folks there who are going to take us the next step. We're at the Harbor Hotel in Clayton, and we have a room with a riverside view. That is the St. Lawrence River.
There's a lot of action going on out there.
Yeah, look at those two freighters. They are going to pass
ships
each other.
That pass in the day.
Yes. It looks like it says the Atlantic Spray on one, and something, we'll be able to read it here in a second.
You know, when we were out there...
Southbound Atlantic Spray.
When we were out there, did we see either one of those boats?
I think they
I don't
all
know.
look the same. This one looks very similar. What does that one say?
A lot of red and white on the boats.
Never really did see the name of that other ship out there, but we sat there for a while, and it was very peaceful just watching the freighters go up and down. We do know that there is a speed limit on the American Narrows, which I think this is a part of it, but it's 10.5 one way and 8.5 the other way, so that's really why they're going slow out there. So,
that's for all the boats?
Yeah, that's for all the boats going up in the American Narrows up there. So anyway, so we'll kind of give you an overview of what's going to happen next for us. It takes a lot of planning when you have a car somewhere, and our friends Jeff and Deb had positioned our car from Maryland into York, where they live. So in order to get to that car, just luckily my cousin Lynn and her husband Walt were in the area, and we met up with them for dinner at the Harbor Hotel, which was nice. And then the next morning they took us down to get a rental car, and we took that rental car all the way down to York, Pennsylvania. But first on the way is we're going to go through my old stomping grounds as a kid in the coal regions of Pennsylvania. So our first stop is Pottsville, Pennsylvania, the home of Yuengling beers. More specifically, we are in Schuylkill Haven right here at the Schuylkill Haven Country Club with my good friend from high school, Bob Pollock. And you can see it's COVID, we're social distancing, but we had a good time catching up. And then it was up to Sculp's Mountains to Fighter's Heaven, where Muhammad Ali trained. And as a boy, I got to see Muhammad Ali train up there. Just now, it is also, there's no charge to tour the camp up there, so I highly suggest if you're in that area to go up there. Bob Pollock's family had something to do with establishing the camp there in the early days, and you can see the ring there, pretty much preserved as the way it was, as the way I remember it, I guess over 50 years ago. Really neat artifacts that are all around there, and you can buy some trinkets there to help support the museum. And the camp is now owned by Mike Madden, who is, I guess, a relationship of John Madden, of the Oakland Raiders fame. And they are trying to preserve it and keep it as pristine as possible. But you can also go up there and rent cabins to stay And someday, maybe we'll be able to do that in the future.
Well, we're finally in our own car now, and we're going through several tunnels in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's western Pennsylvania, the Allegheny Mountains, and you go through on the turnpike there through a number of them. And I just thought this was always fascinating as a kid, and now getting to do it again later.
Yeah, it's very cool. The colors, the fall colors were just incredible. I mean, I know I always think fall colors are incredible, but they were particularly brilliant.
Yeah, and as we kept traveling, finally we hit St. Louis, and we actually got to see exactly where we had passed under that bridge.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah. So we eventually make our way back to Oklahoma and Texas, and this is a picture in Bowie, Texas, which is pretty close to the border of Oklahoma, where we spent time with family. And then it's time to, about Christmas time, we're getting on a plane, and we are going north to Montana, to actually Bozeman, Montana, to visit family up there, and a trip to Yosemite.
Yosemite
and
National Park.
do we see a lot of wildlife up there.
Was bison.
It was really cool.
Those are elk. I couldn't pick an elk out of a lineup until this trip. But
very exciting, and some waterfalls there. Pretty cold. Kind of sliding around as we were going through there. We really were not prepared for it.
Our plan was to move south to get to warmer weather, but...
Well, this is Lake Buchanan, just northwest of Austin, Texas.
They never see snow.
They never see snow. About 3 days after we got there, there is snow. And we had a little cottage on the lake there, which was really peaceful. In time for me to actually do some work on my captain's course that I had ordered. So there I am studying and going through modules and doing as much as we can. So let's go further south and rent a condo on the beach in Galveston. And guess what happened there?
Hadn't snowed in 10 years.
Yeah.
We're trying to get warm weather, and this is what keeps happening to us.
We are actually looking at you can see the road there, and then the beach, and snow right on the beach. This was during the big freeze in Texas. Fortunately, we never lost power in the condo there, but we did lose water because a lot of pipes froze during that time.
Galveston is a really fun place to be if you've never been there. It's not just a, who sang that song anyway?
Galveston?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Glenn Campbell?
Glenn Campbell,
Glenn Campbell, yeah.
It's more than just a country song.
Yeah, and eventually it did warm up. We got to go out and see some of the sights there. It was during COVID time, but some of the things were starting to be relaxed in Texas. So we had a good time hitting some of the beach bars along the way and restaurants, good seafood, and just I think a really relaxing time for us.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it was good for me to get to finish my captain's course, both the 6-pack and the masters, and get all that submitted in there. And it's time to head back up to see family in Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, and then on the way to Niagara Falls. Hey, it's Sam of What Yacht To Do, and we are here in Niagara Falls. We are on the New York side because we can't get into Canada, which is over there. But we are looking at the Horseshoe Falls behind me, and it's one of the wonders of the world. We are on our way to get the boat from the Thousand Islands area, but we are excited to be here, and it's about time for the, I guess, light show that's going to happen on the American Falls. And I don't know how many feet of water or cubic feet, but it's a bunch, and it's deafening here, and there's a lot of mist going on. So if you haven't been here, certainly I've been on the Canadian side, but I think it's more exciting here on the American side of the falls because you get to see a lot more. So we're on the way back to reunite with the boat, and we're going over the bridge to Wellesley Island, where we will be reunited with the Here's to Us.
Yeah, so we left the boat at Horizon Marina, and then over the winter they worked on it, and then they put it back in the boat at the Thousand Islands Club.
Right, put it back in the water at the Thousand Islands.
Water, yeah.
And we will tell you in another video all the work that we had done on the boat, and explain that with some pictures as well. So excited to get back to the boat and then figure out what the next plans are down the road.